Clothes fully dry in under 4 hours. No dryer, no electricity, dead of winter. My people have done this since 1730, and the English neighbor still scratches her head, wondering why it works. But here is what nobody tells you. Your dryer is shrinking your fabric, eating your money, and breaking down every 3 to 4 years on schedule. The Amish never needed any of that. Then, on a bitter January morning, a Lancaster County grandmother hung her last load before sunrise and had dry, pressed clothes before noon. 5 specific techniques made that possible. Every single one works today, in your home, in any season. The Amish Ordnung is not a suggestion. It is a formal set of community rules, and in 1955, it drew a clear line. Electric dryers were rejected. Not discouraged, rejected. For the English world, that might sound like hardship. For the Amish settlements rooted in Pennsylvania since 1730, it was simply the next chapter of a very old story. What the outside world never understood is that the Amish did not just survive without dryers. They mastered drying in a way most modern households have completely forgotten. Pennsylvania Heritage Magazine documented this in 2023, tracing the laundry traditions of Lancaster County settlements back through nearly 3 centuries of continuous practice. Here is the insight that changes everything. Drying time is not determined on the line. It is determined at the wringer. The moment you pull a garment from the wash, the clock starts. How much moisture you remove before that garment ever touches a line decides whether it dries in 2 hours or 6. Modern laundry skips this step entirely. We spin, we toss, we hang. The Amish wring. Firmly. Completely. Until the last drip is gone. Levi Stoltzfus, an Amish elder from Lancaster County, put it plainly. He said, "A well-wrung garment is already half dry. That is not poetry. That is physics. Less moisture in means less time out. It is the foundational principle behind every technique my people use, and the one the modern world traded away the moment the electric dryer became cheap enough to sell. Necessity became mastery. And mastery, passed down through generations, became something the outside world is only now beginning to pay attention to again. Nobody was paying attention to the ring and snap method back then. It was just what you did before you hung the wash. Nobody thought to explain it, because nobody imagined a world where it needed explaining. That was about to change. Number 1. The ring and snap method. This is where the whole system begins. It is early morning in a Lancaster County farmhouse, circa any winter you care to name. The wash is done. The basket is full, and a woman who has been doing this since she was 7 years old reaches into that basket and does something most modern households have never seen. She rings, not a polite squeeze. A firm, full twist, both hands turning in opposite directions, held for a count of 3 until no more water falls. Then she does it again. That is step 1. Step 2 is the snap. She grips the garment at both ends and snaps it sharply, 2 to 3 times, with a clean crack of fabric in the cold air. This is not habit. This is technique. The snap breaks the fiber tension that builds up during wringing, shakes loose the surface moisture the twist left behind, and does one more thing most people never connect to drying. It prevents wrinkles from setting in the fabric. No snap, and you are ironing later. Snap it properly, and the garment hangs smooth. Lancaster Farming documented this in 2024 in a detailed piece on Amish homemaking practices. The reporter noted that the snap step took approximately 10 extra seconds per garment. 10 seconds. That is the entire investment. What the ring and snap really does is change the starting condition of every garment before it hits the line. A properly wrung and snapped shirt carries dramatically less moisture than one pulled from a modern spin cycle and tossed over a rack. The line is just finishing the job the hands already started. The method works on any fabric, any season, any home. You need your hands and 10 extra seconds per item. The ring and snap celebrated its results in every dry, wrinkle-free garment it produced. But the next technique is the one that makes winter drying possible indoors, in any room, without a single piece of modern equipment. Cold, damp, indoor air, with nowhere for moisture to go. The clock had already started. Coming in at number 2, strategic indoor line placement. This is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. It is February. Outside, the temperature has not climbed above freezing in 11 days. The outdoor clothesline is useless. A lesser system quits here. The Amish system does not even flinch. Indoor clotheslines have been a feature of Amish kitchens and utility rooms for as long as the settlements have existed. Simple lines strung across the kitchen, near the wood stove, above the warmth that already rises through the room. A June 2025 Mother Earth News report confirmed this as a core method in traditional Amish households, passed from mother to daughter without interruption across generations. The placement is not random. Height matters enormously. Hang a garment at shoulder level or above, and it catches the warm air that naturally rises toward the ceiling. Hang it low, near the floor, and that garment sits in the coldest, dampest layer of air in the room. The warm air rises. The moisture follows it out and away from the fabric, but only if the fabric is positioned to meet it. Spacing matters just as much. Garments that touch each other trap moisture between them. 2 shirts pressed together at the sleeve create a pocket of damp air that neither one can shed. Space them apart, several inches at minimum, and each garment gets full airflow on every surface. Hannah Yoder, a homesteader who has documented traditional Amish methods extensively, demonstrates this system with ceiling hooks installed in her kitchen. The hooks cost nothing significant. A few dollars for hardware, an hour to install, and they last for decades. No electricity, no equipment to break down, no monthly cost. She installed those hooks 20 years ago and never looked back. The results were hanging right there in plain sight. At number 3, the wood stove rack system. But the version you have heard, the vague idea of drying near heat, that is not the full picture. It is the dead of winter. The wood stove has been burning since 4 in the morning. The kitchen is warm, dry, and full of rising heat. A wooden drying rack sits 2 to 3 feet from the stove, close enough to catch the radiant warmth, far enough to avoid scorching. And the timing of what happened next, when that rack was used correctly, was almost too perfect. Garments go on the rack in a single layer. No doubling, no stacking. Every surface exposed to the warm air. Every 45 to 60 minutes, the garments are rotated. The pieces that face the stove now face away. The ones that were damp at the seams get repositioned to face the heat directly. Without rotation, you get stiff spots, dry on one side, damp on the other. The rotation is the method. A 2025 Plain Values magazine feature on off-grid laundry practices documented this system in detail. Full drying in under 4 hours, even during peak winter humidity. 4 hours. Think about that for a second. The wood stove rack system works because it combines 3 things at once: consistent heat, moving air, and regular repositioning. Take any one away, and the system slows. Keep all 3, and it outperforms a modern dryer on thick fabrics like denim and wool. No wood stove. The same principle applies to any consistent heat source: a radiator, a sunny south-facing window, a space heater set at low, positioned safely. The heat source changes. The distance and rotation principle do not. One important detail: wooden racks only. Metal conducts heat unevenly and can leave marks or stress lines on delicate fabric. Wood stays at a stable, even temperature throughout. It is not an accident that Amish households have used wooden racks for 3 centuries. For a while, things actually seemed fine with modern drying habits. Dryers were convenient, clothes came out warm, nobody asked questions. That did not last. Because there are 2 more techniques in this system, and the next one finally solved the problem nobody thought had a solution: drying in genuinely humid air, when no amount of heat seems to be enough. Lay the damp garment flat on a dry towel, roll them together tightly, press down firmly, and unroll. The towel pulls the moisture the wringer missed out of thick seams, out of collars, out of the dense weave of denim and wool. Rehang immediately. That item is now significantly drier before it ever touches the line. Verified in 2025 homesteading research covering Amish off-grid humid climate methods. The heavy ones, the stubborn ones that never seem to dry. This is their solution. And if you want the full Amish fabric care system, that video is on screen right now.